This is the reading, Names in Business. I recommend you read it first on your own and then watch this video. As I'm reading, I'm going to be taking notes. You should also be taking notes on your post-its or in your notebook. Names in business, the importance of names. So pay attention to the headings. I know for sure this section is going to be about why names are important. The names of companies and products have different origins. Origins means they come from different places. Other companies often got their names from people. Car companies are a good example. Okay, so let's write that note. Old companies got names from people. Many car companies such as Ford, Toyota, and Tata all have the names of men who started them. So I'm going to write here example. Ford, Toyota, and Tata. Other car companies such as Saab, Fiat, and BMW have names that are initials. So initials. For example, BMW are the initials for Bavarian Motor Works. Today, many new companies choose different kinds of names. They know what company and product names are very important, and they spend a lot of time and money on these names. A new company must choose its name carefully. It must also think carefully when it names its products. A name can influence what people think about a company or product. People will remember a good name. They may choose that company or product because of its name. This means that a company or product must have, with a good name, may not need many advertisements. This can save a lot of money. So the main point here is good names are important to buyers and companies. Okay, this is the second section. It's going to talk about connecting a name to a company. Some companies choose their own name. However, because this is a very important decision, other companies ask professionals to help them. There are businesses that do just one thing. They think of names for new companies and products. They research names and give advice about how people will respond to them. If it is an international company, they consider international factors. Companies want to know how people all over the world will respond to their company or product name. International companies have to be careful. Sometimes a good name in one language could also mean something bad or embarrassing in another language. So I'm going to write that down. International companies must have a good name that doesn't have a bad meaning in other languages. I gave an example in class about that car. It was called the Supernova. And, you know, supernova is like a very beautiful star in the sky. So it sounds like a really nice name. But when they went to Spanish countries, Nova or Nova means the car doesn't go. So a lot of people, they didn't want to buy the car because the name meant the car doesn't work. So that's an example of a company. They have to be very careful about the name that they choose. Companies consider many things when they choose a name. They want a name that customers will connect with the company or product. If a company makes shoes for running, it should consider names that are related to feet or shoes. Green Moon or Crazy Cow would not be good names for shoes. A good name should also be easy to remember. However, the name should not be too ordinary. It is probably not a good idea to choose a name like Best Shoes or The Shoe Company. These names are boring and they do not show how the company is unique. Okay, so here names must be memorable and unique. Okay, number 3, emotional response to names. Perhaps the most important factor that a company must consider is the emotion that people will feel when they hear the name of the company. What will they think when they hear the name? When the online company Amazon began, it only sold books. The founder of the company chose the name because the Amazon River is vast and powerful. It is the largest river in the world. He wanted his company to be the biggest bookseller in the world. So this is an example. Amazon refers to Amazon River. And the company owner wanted it to be strong, like the Amazon River. A good name tells a story. If a shoe company chooses a name like Fast Feet, this explains the business to the customers. There's a clear connection between shoes and their purpose. But the name is a little ordinary. 2 companies that make running shoes chose names that are more interesting. Nike, the Greek goddess of victory, and Reebok, a large animal from Africa that runs very fast. So that word Nike, it's actually the name of a Greek goddess. See? And Reebok, this is the animal, the Reebok. So that's how the companies actually got their names. These names tell good stories. The companies probably hope their customers will think about victory and speed when they buy their shoes. So those are good examples. Nike, it's referring to a goddess, and then Reebok, animal. Okay, moving on to the next page. The names of some electronic and technology products also provide good examples of responses to products. The names for these products should make people think about modern science and technology. Sometimes this choice relates to sounds. For example, words that begin with E or I, like email and iPhone, make people think about technology. Okay, so let's write it here, technology. Use E or I to let people know this is a technology product. In English, words that begin or end with X, such as X-ray, often sound very scientific or technical. A good example of a product name is Xerox. It sounds very technical, but it's also easy to remember. Okay, so I'm going to write that down. X sounds technical and scientific. Another good example is the company name Google. This name comes from the word Google, which means a very large number, 10 to the 100th power. The company's original name was Backrub, but as they grew, the directors decided it needed a better name. They probably chose a new name because it makes the company sound scientific and powerful. Today, Google is a very powerful company. So I'm going to write that down. Google comes from the word which means a large number. Finally, sometimes businesses want to find a new name. Kentucky Fried Chicken sells lots of fried chicken. Today, many customers worry that they eat too much fat. Kentucky Fried Chicken didn't want its customers to just think about its fried food. The company decided to change its name to KFC. Okay, so let's write that down. Kentucky Fried Chicken. Chicken changed to KFC. KFC wanted its customers to think about its other products, which are not fried. A company may also change its name when something bad happens. For example, there was an airplane crash in Florida in 1997. Many people died in the crash. The company that owned the airplane, ValueJet, wanted its customers to forget the crash, so it changed its name to AirTran. So companies change names after tragedies. Choosing and changing names is an important part of any business. Names can have powerful influence on customers. With a good response from customers, a company can make a lot of money. With a bad response, a company may lose a lot of money.